Hey, good afternoon, guys. I got a little public service announcement. It looks like another one of these, what I call garage crafted errors have kind of reared its ugly head on eBay. And this is actual live listing. If you were to type in, if you want to check it out for yourself, type in 1978 cent error. It'll be the first actual listing to pop up on the search results, and you can tell exactly which one it is because it has that red tweed background used in the photograph. And I'll be honest, the photograph's pretty good enough for me to take an image, and I wanted to review and show it to you guys exactly what a what they call a vice job is in the error coin field. And one of the more collected and highly sought after coin errors today is the double struck coin. There's a few different variations. Okay, you have the off-center ones, you have the flip overs, you have the in-collar strikes, which is kind of like what they're trying to reminisce here on this example that's being sold, and I think it's somewhere still in the $22 area. I'm sure it's been reported to this point to the eBay, I guess, police, so to speak, regarding the authenticity of this particular coin. But those are some of the more well-known, sought-after, different types of double-struck types. And they're all extremely valuable. Typically, your in-collar, rotated or flip-over varieties will sell for the most amount of money compared to the off-center style coins. Again, there's a bunch of various different things that go into the, I guess, value of these coins. Whether or not a whole date, shows. I could get into that whole different story. But this particular coin, okay, is a huge red flag. Something you ought to know about double-struck coins, especially the in-collar type, which is, again, what this one is trying to mimic, is that you're not going to get a secondary impression that's incuse, which means it's been pressed or stamped into the coin. That's something that you guys have to know. On a typical genuine coin, and I'll actually have a side-by-side comparison between a 78, the one that you see from the eBay listing, and another example that has sold a while ago. That one is also a 78 cent, and you'll see the difference. Okay, one is going to have a double struck secondary impression that's going to be somewhat raised, but it's going to kind of shapeshift and mold with the rest of the devices, and that's exactly what you're going to look for on the real examples. But getting back to this one right here, a couple other dead giveaways. You'll see a bunch of nicks and marks on the rim of the coin, which indicates two coins being pressed together. Now, some would say, well, how the heck can you put enough pressure to have the secondary image of the Lincoln Memorial on the face of the coin? Well, they call it a vice job for a reason. If you take two coins, sandwich them together, and generally people will use like either facial tissue or maybe some sort of cloth or towel, so that way they won't have the marks on the back sides of them when they're put into a vise. That'll create enough pressure to make that secondary impression into the coin. Again, the secondary impression not only is incuse, but it is also going to be backwards. Okay, so if there's any text or type, in this case you could see some of the text from the reverse being pressed onto the coin is going to be in reverse and not the intended orientation where you can actually read it and have it make sense. So this is it looks like it was 1981 that was pressed up against the 78, because you can see 1981 in reverse, but it's a neat anomaly, and for whatever reason people want to buy them, even though you could make them with some basic hand tools. But if you were to get into the coin, buy it so that way you could resell it as an authenticated piece, you're not going to fool anybody. Here's a secondary picture of the eBay coin at kind of a tilted angle, so that way you could see the depression of the secondary image on there. This will kind of give you an idea of what to steer clear from, and these are out there, and probably a higher quantity than what should be, because again, people do it as an oddity. For those people that come across them, you know, say coin roll hunting or in pocket change, they look interesting or neat enough that maybe it's something, you know, that could sell on the secondary market. Unfortunately, this one will probably have its listing removed sometime here in the future. I know I've put in the request to have it taken down because it's not a real error. And finally, I also have that picture of the side-by-side between the fake garage vice job and a legitimate double struck error. I'll leave this here for you guys to examine for the next minute, and you could, I guess, screenshot it so that way you have like a reference photo to, you know, to keep on hand as you coin roll hunt. Maybe you come across something like this, you'll know exactly what you have. The difference between a non-legitimate double struck error in color and one that is many hundreds of dollars. This coin, if it was legitimate in this kind of condition, would easily sell for $150 to $200, even though it's brown, worn, probably a VF example. But you never know. It's kind of hard to say. I've seen a few of these drop down to as much as $100 for a genuine example. So guys, do not be taken. I know they're interesting. You're better off buying one that is the real deal. Personally, I would buy one if I was looking for an example of this type of error. I would buy one already slabbed. You can buy an annex one for, you know, $150 to $200. But they're neat. You know, it's just, there's no reason why to fake them, because a lot of people in the coin community know what these look like. You know, as far as a true blue example, it's just unfortunate that these pop up every so often. But you know, it is what it is. It's all a learning experience, and I hope I was able to kind of throw in my hat in the ring to let you guys know that this one is floating out there. Again, go ahead and check out the listing so you know exactly, and it's coming from a legitimate seller, okay, a guy with 11,000 feedback, so that's even more stranger than the fiction itself. But yeah, that wraps up this one. Again, thanks for joining in on this session for your lunchtime hour. Please like, subscribe Blue Ridge Silverhound, and as always, hit the bell for instant notifications on new videos as they're made available. I want to thank you guys again for joining in. Love you guys. Okay, would love to hear some stories of some new finds. I get them quite frequently on my email. Again, it's blueridgesilverhound@gmail.com. I'm trying to get through a lot of them. I get dozens of emails daily. So yeah, it's a lot of hard work, man, but I'm up to the challenge, and I'm looking forward to hearing from you. You guys take care, and have a nice, happy, healthy afternoon. See ya.